Welcome back, everybody. This is Angie Torres and Art Sanchez from The Art of Detail.
Hello.
Thank you again for being back on the show.
Yes.
So earlier we were talking about personal development and the journey that you went on a personal end. You spoke about your family and how this changed you, and really learning how to take responsibility for yourself and how this affected you on the personal life. But there's also one big result out of this. So why don't you tell us about that?
During my leadership, as I was completing the leadership course, the personal training course that we were talking about, I got fired from my job at Pepsi, and didn't know what I was going to do. And everything kind of came together around it was because when I went to my team and let them know that I got fired, their first question to me was, great, what are you going to do next? So it was right there. They were already telling me, what am I going to do next? And for the longest time, I was hesitant to leave Pepsi because it was secure. I had insurance, I had benefits, and so I was always afraid to leave and go pursue something else. So when I was forced to do so, having the tools that I received in the training, I was able to start my own business and created the Art of Detail Auto Spa, and that's where we are today.
Yes, and now if you could tell us a little bit about the journey. But before we do that, I actually want to touch on something. Earlier we were talking about the so what, now what. And so here you are, you're fired, and you're just kind of doing that little beat up, and oh my gosh, you're stuck in the what am I going to do? And because of the tools and the team and the way these courses work, they snapped you out of it. They're like, okay, so now what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And your answer was, I'm going to start a business.
Well, I was going to do something. I was going to try to make money. I mean, I started, because people would always ask me, like, who washes your truck? Because I took really good care of my truck. Those of you that know me. And, well, hey, would you wash my truck? So it was, in the beginning, it wasn't to open a business. It was just to make ends meet. I thought I was going to get another job. I didn't know if I wanted to go back to corporate. But so I started washing cars in my garage and started making a little bit of money, and then it just grew, and then I was like, hey, I could maybe do this as a business. So that's where the business, because I never had thought about opening a business.
So it just kind of happened.
Yeah, it kind of fell into place. It worked out.
But as we were talking about earlier, when you take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, that didn't just happen either.
No.
By the one, in one hand, you're like, oh, I lost my job, I am responsible for that. But over here, you're like, well, I'm going to start a business, and I have a business, and now I'm responsible for that. So that's how standing in responsibility works for us who are in this field and, doing the work that we talked about earlier. Can you share a little bit about the journey of becoming a business owner?
Yeah, very thankful for a lot of the people along the way, because I'd ask a lot of questions. I was coming home some days having washed one car, which you're not going to sustain a house on one car a day. But very supportive wife telling me, hey, at least you did one, or, you can always do more tomorrow. So it's as the longer I did it, the more I developed that this could be a business, and how would it look like, and what would I need to do. And fortunately, I was able to take another course with the same training background, which was a business challenge course, and it really helped you look at all the different areas of how to develop a business. And even there, you have people from different businesses that are able to answer questions for you and have you look at things again from a business perspective and from an angle that you didn't know you were going to need to do. So, I mean, my business, we've been in business for 7 years. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly growing. So not only do I have people asking me questions, but I'm always asking other people questions on just different ways to do things. Because just like we talked about, not only do we change, but the environment changes, the business changes.
Mm-hmm.
Needs change. So just a constant development.
And something that I'm hearing that I definitely believe in, and for those of you who don't know, I've owned a business or own a business, and the big thing that I heard you speak into was like your wife and having the support of others. So it's really important that you have that team around you, that those core people that are going to support you when you're down.
Absolutely.
And actually, I'm just going to go off script here. So, as I mentioned earlier, this man right here has been a huge support and a rock for me. So when I first finished my leadership course, he was there, he was the director, and he's the reason that he, and the funny thing is, I didn't even know him. He was just the director, the trainer. We didn't have that personal relationship. And it was just who he was and the way he showed up in my life that I'm like, you know what? There's something in this. I want to do more. I want to find out more. And that's what led me to becoming a trainer and just really discovering this whole other career. And I eventually just shifted my career from counseling and to personal development and training. And even in that transition, so the story doesn't end there. So while I transitioned, he was the one that would occasionally call me and be like, hey, what's going on? Also be the one to knock me around and be like, hey, what are you doing? Which is also really important. I feel that some people take that for granted or take it personal when somebody's like, hey, what the F are you doing? But you need to get a little shaken up. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate the stand that you've been for me and the support. And I honestly, and I'm tearing up a little bit, so don't think that I would have had the courage to do what I've done and taken the risk that I've taken if it wasn't for you.
Well, thank you. Well, I love you, girl. I appreciate it, and it is. It's difficult, and it's something that I learned is, I can't recognize things in you or, call you out on things, how we say it, or hold you accountable to things if they're not in me, if I can't recognize them in myself. So that was one thing is, having somebody that'll call you out on your BS, on your crap, and love you enough to say something. Because a lot of times you see somebody that you really care about doing something, but you don't say anything to them. Mm-hmm. And it just continues. And it's like, so those of you that know me that are in my circle, I don't. If I see something, I'm going to tell you. And I want you guys to do, I want that the same for me, because it's important. To me, that's how you show somebody that you really care about them.
No, and I completely agree. It's hard sometimes. It's not the most comfortable thing to receive or to give that type of, kind of wake up call, but it's a great feeling to know that you have people out there, so thank you, who are willing to go through that for you. So, bringing it back. So thank you. The Art of Detail. So why don't you talk a little bit about what the Art of Detail is? And
well, this is it's a family-owned business. My wife does all of our bookkeeping, paperwork, keeps me in line, keeps me in check. All three of my sons have worked with me. Two of them still are working with me, so they've helped develop it, grow it, spread the word on it. They're as passionate about it as I am, which is what gets me emotional, because it really brought us together, that we built something from nothing, and it's really sustained us here in Las Vegas. It's really helped us have something of our own here, that people know us by. People know our work. People refer us. Third-party referrals, or that I don't advertise. I'm on Facebook a lot, but when somebody's looking for a detailer and I have 3 or 4 people saying call Art, that means a lot to me, because it's a personal relationship that we have. So if we wash your car, you're part of the family business again, and it just grows. So it's been amazing.
That's awesome. And so, just very short, what exactly do you do, and where can we find you?
Yes. So I have 2 locations here in Las Vegas. I'm at Volvo's Las Vegas on Sahara, and then I also rent a shop on Sahara and Durango. I am on Facebook at theartofdetail.com, Instagram as well, and basically I do details on your personal car, and I'll treat your car as if it was my own. We do washing, waxing, shampooing, leather conditioning. I do minor scratch repair. I work with an Uber association, United Rideshare, here in Las Vegas. So I do Uber vehicles and Lyft vehicles. And if you're going to turn your car in to trade in for a sale or returning a lease, I can help you get your car cleaned up and to trade in, or just get your car back looking new.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Our time has ran out.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So again, Art of Detail. If you guys need your car washed, he'll take care of it for you. All right. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.